Yo, what's going on today, guys? It's XO, and today I got another video for y'all, and it hits home for me because I'm Gen Z, and this is talking about our generation's future. I'm late Gen Z. I'm a '09 baby. I'm still a little dumbass kid, but that's neither here nor there. And I think that especially us, we're doomed. Now, I don't mean completely doomed, but in the sense that we'll never have the lives the millennials had. We'll never have the lives the Xers had. We'll never have the lives the boomers had. We'll never have any of that. That was squandered and taken away from us. And yeah, so the economy right now, terrible. Like that is a topic that smarter people than me have spoken on for thousands and thousands of hours, and we've gotten nowhere. But let me sum it up to this. To make the amount of money that our grandparents made and live the life they lived, minimum wage would have to be $43 an hour to compensate with inflation. And that's facts. Look it up. I didn't just pull that out of my ass. It's like 43 to 48. That's insane. That is insane. You know what minimum wage is in my state? Like $12 an hour. In states back home where I'm from, it's like $7.50, $7. Like it's not even nowhere close to where our grandparents were living. People were buying houses on minimum wage back then. People can't even live on their own anymore. Working 40 hours a week, especially in the blue collar world. It's bad. You go to the gas station, you go to the grocery store, you go to these places, you can't even afford to eat anymore. Food is so outrageous, it's not even funny. And, no one's fixing it. Trump doesn't care. The GOP doesn't care. The Democratic Party doesn't care. All these people who say they're for America, America first, we're going to bring the inflation down. We're going to take America back. The golden age of America. That was a huge thing when Trump got in office. The golden age has started. The America's time. We'll have the most prosperous times in America. What has he done? Oh, 15 billion to Israel. Oh, let's bring in a bunch of H-1B visas. Uh, where's the economy at, Mr. Trump, Mr. President? Where's it at? It's in the shitter. What are you doing for it? Tariffs. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the only move you've done in the last 10 months. Anyways, economics is a thing I'm not very educated on. I do know a little bit. I know it's pretty bad. You probably need to find another stream of funds, of money aside from your full-time job just to live nowadays. That's not what this channel is for me. I do this, I might, if I get monetized naturally, but my whole purpose is to just basically have a room where I can speak my ideals and maybe, have some sort of effect on someone's life. But the economy, cooked. If you don't have some sort of family to live with, some sort of roommate, I don't know how you're making it. And if you're making it on your own, props to you, man, because it's rough. And there's not much we can do about it. So I'm going to leave it at that. There's not really much to be unpacked because it's kind of just like it is what it is. Suck it up. There's nothing we can do until we eventually organize and rise up, through protest and through reform, through policy changes. It's not going to change. The job market is being taken up by both illegal and legal immigration. A lot of legal immigrants coming into this country come from third world countries, but they're not just Joe Schmo off the street. They're doctors, they're engineers, they're AI technicians, they're computer scientists, they're aerospace engineers. They do things that build our industry, but they also take the jobs of American citizens who were born in this country and whose family fought for this country. And I honestly think we need to limit legal immigration. I think we have a lot of people in America, and if we're having problems, of course, naturally, immigration is a core part of America. I'm not anti immigration. But when American citizens are having problems finding jobs and the economy is down and the job market's done, why are we going to flood our gates with more people who are going to worsen that problem because the government won't fix it? We need to make changes until things get better, and then we'll open the gates back up. But yeah, the job market it's bad even for, low wage blue collar men. Entry level jobs, you need years of experience, college degrees. There's people out there working at McDonald's with bachelors. Like it's insane, and that's another reason why I'm about to go into colleges. College prices. You pay $40K for a degree, doesn't even guarantee you're going to make any more money than some guy who dropped out of high school, got into concrete, is making, fucking $14 an hour laying concrete, like 30K a year. But in 10 years, he'll have enough knowledge to start his own business, and he's going to be making $100K a year. And you're going to be and by then he'll only be what? 28? How many 28-year-olds make $100K a year? And I know that's like 1%, but in the blue collar world, that's possible. College prices don't make up for the change in wages anymore. They used to. All of this economic rhetoric has been spit to Gen Z by Xers and Boomers who, back in their day, yeah, college was the way to go. You could buy a house, you could live on your own for cheap. I mean, yeah, I know people in my family who back in the early 2000s had an apartment, 2 cars on one blue collar wage in a major city. That's impossible nowadays. It won't happen. We need to make some changes. I don't know what the average person can do until we organize and protest. We have to get people in for the cause to protest, against the economy and make our ideas known. But yeah, and the government doesn't care, man. At the end of the day, if you're Gen Z in 2025 and you think that the government gives two shits about you, I got a rude awakening for you, buddy. Don't these, and even millennials see it because they're in their 30s and 40s, but they're still kind of young enough to sympathize with our cause. And yeah, the government doesn't care, man. Trump doesn't care. Trump was going to be he was the Christ of America. He was going to bring it back, make America great again, all this stuff. Take it back from the radical communists, gay liberals, and he's going to come back and rule with an iron fist and get illegal immigration and all this shit. And guess what happened? Nothing. Nothing has happened. We barely have any illegal immigrants being deported. Our economy still fucking sucks, and all we've done is send all this money to Israel. The Ukraine war is still going. The ceasefires aren't sticking, and no one even cares. No one cares. Yeah, the tariffs, egg prices have come down. I'll give him that. But yeah, not a whole lot has happened in 10 months. I remember in 2021 when Biden got in office, that October it was night and day from January. And I don't even like Biden. I criticize Republicans, but the Democrats are worse. They're not even on my radar of good. But I don't think Republicans are all that great either. And I criticize them a lot. But yeah, the support for the Israel lobby. The GOP and neocons have gone after, anti-Israel type criticism, or anti-Semitism, as they would label it, And yeah, I'm so sick of labels. I'm so sick of you criticize something, you say something, you talk out your ideals, and you get called Nazi or you're a fascist or, all this type of bullshit ass rhetoric that, especially Xers and boomers have spit, and a lot of them are just ignorant. They don't research the modern times. They didn't have the internet. They listen to whatever the American propaganda machine pumped out. So they live in their own ignorance. But the support for the Israel lobby is also contributing to the national debt, the ruining of America's economy, the anti-Christian rhetoric that Jews push because they don't like Christians. Talmudic Judaism is contrary to the Bible and to Christianity, and they don't care, man. And I'm gonna make a video about the Jews and the Great Noticing in Israel and Palestine and my views. But the Israel lobby is contributing. The GOP and Zionists is contributing to Gen Z's bleak outlook for the future by helping ruin the economy and traditional Christian America. So, yeah. Enough with the doom and gloom, though. How do we combat it? Well, unless you're a really smart person, you got some money going, you got a good, decent family, and you can go to a good college, average Joes like me and you, there's not a lot we can do. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. These are the best things I can say we can do. Get fit, work out, be prepared for anything, I'm not a warmonger, but if you ever had to defend your family and those you love, your type of tribe, being fit, you look better, you speak better, you're more confident, you're stronger, you're more masculine. You should just be doing that. Become educated, research politics, develop your own ideas, go deep into theology, go deep into philosophy of religion, to modern day politics, and the background and history. Knowledge is power, okay? Knowledge is power. History, research, study American history, research and study Bible theology, Christian theology, the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, research politics, the history of the Republican, Democrat parties, Constitution, all the shit they don't teach you in school, and if you're still in school, take everything you learn with a grain of salt, because 90% of it is state-funded propaganda. And, some of it may be true, some of it may be not. It's a grain of salt, it's a grain of rice in a huge bag to me. So, yeah. Love people, love God naturally. Be a good Christian, be a good man, be a good example. Lead people, don't be a follower. Do things in your own life that people would look at as admirable. Sorry, a little tongue twister there. But, yeah. Build community, Find a area where you can go where like-minded people are, and even if you don't talk to them, just be around them, kind of eavesdrop maybe, and collect knowledge, and eventually you will talk to people, whether that be a church, a jiu-jitsu gym, hell, the lake, go fishing, what I'm saying? I've heard a lot of stuff at the lake, anywhere, man. AA, I mean, anywhere. Some sort of church recovery, I don't know. Bible study, something. Do something. Okay. Learn about economics. I don't really have any recommendations. I don't really like Dave Ramsey, but if you want to, I suppose. I don't really know his economic policies. I think he's a classical boomer, Gen Z doesn't work hard enough. If y'all worked hard enough and if you don't like your job, you can just quit it and go find another job. You're just lazy. Like, that's just ignorance in my opinion. And that shit doesn't apply to Gen Z. But, he's an old guy, doesn't understand. They grew up in a different world where, that wasn't the case. But in today's world, it's not. And the last and final thing I'll say is pray. Repent of your sins with fear and trembling. Pray to God. Have Him guide you in your path. And I wish this upon everyone watching this video, that God will guide you in your life and show you what is good for you, and I think we'll be good. The future is bleak. Gen Z is looking doomed, but God is bigger than any sort of bleak outcast that we can imagine. So yeah, that's what I'll say. you know Thank you guys for watching another video. If you got any advice, let me know in the comments. I appreciate y'all for making this far. God bless America first,